Hello, beautiful people. My name is Yola. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. By the title, today I'll be talking about my perspective on life and how life is long. In this video, I want to talk about how we've been told so many lies in our lives. One of those lies is that life is short. I want to remind you all that just because something hasn't happened when you think it should, or based on the deadline that you have set for it, doesn't mean that it won't happen. For example, if you have set a goal that you'll be in your dream position by the age of blank, and you spend your time focusing on bettering yourself so that you acquire the position, if it doesn't happen by that age and you are still alive, then there is still time for it to happen. Maybe it'll happen a year or two after the age that you set as your goal. The point I'm trying to make is that life is long enough for you to do the things that you set your mind to and for you to have the things that you work for. As a 20-something-year-old, my truth is that I feel like I've been living for quite some time, as I have experienced so many changes and I've learned so much, yet there is still tons and tons of information out in the world that I have yet to learn, as I have not lived my full life. I'm at the stage where people feel the need to constantly remind me that I'm young, regardless of how much I've grown. When I was younger, I spent a lot of my time sleeping, reading books, and wasting times in ways that I would believe would allow me to speed through time. I wanted it to go by quicker on some days and slow down on others, yet it maintained its pace. There are countless days of my life where I spent 9, 10, and even 12 hours sleeping, and yet here I am facing the reality that there are still many more days, months, and years left for me to exist through. My point is, I have so much time. I'm not really sure how much time I have, but I do know that a lot can change in 1 year, and that on the grander scale, a lot will change in 5 years. It simply makes sense for things to change because there's time going by. I wonder if those who state that life is short truly mean it, or if they mean that due to their decisions early on in life, that they've spent majority of their time doing things that didn't make them happy, which resulted in them feeling like life is short because they've only been allowed the last 5 to 10 years of their time to do what they truly want. I could imagine how short life could feel for those who work the same job for 20 years while having children, living in the same house, the same neighborhood, and following a routine until their late 40s, 50s, or 60s. I wonder if a different path would have changed the overall narrative to more people saying something along the lines of, I've lived a long life and I've done so much, so relax, because you're young, have fun, try new things, be risky, be wild, be free. Because even after being all of those things, you will still have the time to try something else, to be something else. I've observed that there are adults who, after years of being a parent to a newbie of the world, no longer know what it is that they want to do with their time because they've grown accustomed to the routine of caring for someone else. So now that their physical youth has left and they still have more than a quarter of their lives to live, instead of thinking, what's next? They reminisce on the past, the time before the skin, body, age, and their lives as they once knew it changed forever. Then, when they see a younger adult, someone who is in a position that they were once in, the only advice some have is to live it up or enjoy being young because life goes by fast and life is short. I know that I haven't been here very long, but I don't believe that life is short, or that it moves any faster than it always has. What I don't understand is the fact that we all have the same 24 hours. So as some proclaim that time is flying by, in my life where the same amount of time exists, I experience each hour of life gracefully flowing by, as I believe that so much can be done in 1 hour. As I meditate to cater to my mind, I consciously choose to use my time to do whatever it is that I want in that moment, or to simply sit with myself. Sometimes I have moments where I zone out and I think, wow, there is so much time. Ever since I could remember, I've always thought there is a lot of time in life. And as an adult, I still think there is so much time. As a child, I wanted to grow up simply because I wanted the time to be spent differently than the choices I once had. I wanted to be in charge of what I did and where I went, and I wanted the opportunity to find new ways to spend all this time since there seems to be so much of it. I plan to drive and explore, swim, talk, run, eat, dance, work out, sing, create. My list for spending this time is immense. Personally, I love to read, and I constantly imagine myself spending a year or so in a beautiful library-like living environment where some of the best fictional books ever created are located. I'd love to see how many books I could read in a year and what I could learn from them all. How many title covers would I turn? And how many similarities would I find in the story's trope? Would I find an author with a different writing style from the rest? This idea intrigues me, so I'll share my hypothetical math with you all. There are roughly 365 days in a year, and I know I can read a fictional book of 300 to 500 pages in under a week. 1 year is 52 weeks, so if I maintain the pace of 2 books per week, I'd have read 104 books in that time. Now let's take it one step further. What if I'm actually able to read 2.5 books per week, with an occasional 3rd book completed? Then I'd be able to read anywhere from 130 to 150 books in a year, and I would still have the potential 70 plus years of my life to live. That example is just for me to explain how time can be spent, how we can use 1 year, which is a lot of time, and we can do so much. I believe a person's perception on time and the way they view it can shift based on the choices they make, such as how they live, how they work, where they live, and what they spend their time doing. All of these categories combined with if they have a family, if they have a lot of responsibilities, a peace of mind, and help, makes a difference in a person's life. Whether they live off the grid, in luxury, in a flourishing country or not, have access to fresh foods, tropical weather, or all seasons, all of these factors impact how time can feel or be perceived. In closing, I'd like to state that life is long, as there's enough room for you to become someone new and acquire things that you don't currently have. I'd like to state that you have enough time to do what it is that you want to do, even if you haven't started yet. None of us know when the end is. All we know is that we are here now. If you choose to live on purpose by constantly finding ways to do the things that you want to do, the things that make you your happiest, whether it's building things, writing, being active, cooking, helping others improve, etc. If you are intentional in taking care of your body, finding your balance, living now instead of waiting for a distant later, which isn't promised, then maybe, just maybe, you'll begin to realize how long life truly is. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you take something from this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.